Hi and welcome back to the garden. In this video we're going to be sowing lots and lots of vegetable seeds in our new raised bed. I'm here in front of our new raised bed and it's now ready for sowing lots of vegetables in. I've worked out a very rough plan of what we're going to grow in each area, and we're going to utilise the fact that we have a fence so we can grow things up it as well. So the very first seed I'm going to sow is a beetroot, and this is one called Boltardy. It's a tried and tested variety and it is fairly resistant to bolting. So I'm just going to start just using my hand, just making a drill. And I'm going to do 2 rows of each of the vegetables we're going to sow today. And then tip some of the seeds into the palm of your hand. And I'm just going to sow very, very thinly. And before I cover the rows up, I'm just going to put the label in between the 2 rows so I know exactly what I've sown, and then just scrunch the soil back over the top of the seeds just to cover them up and then give them a little bit of a firm down. So these should germinate between 7 and 21 days. And if they all germinate, I will be thinning them out a little bit more, just so they have adequate space to grow. Now these will take about 8 to 10 weeks from the point of sowing to the point of harvest. So with the beetroot sown, let's move on to the next one. So the next seed we're going to sow are carrots, and this is a variety called short and sweet, and these are a variety of baby carrots. So we're really looking forward to these because these are nice and sweet, and we should be able to harvest after sowing between 8 and 10 weeks. So again for this one, I'm just going to make a ridge, just using my hand, and the same thing on this side, so there's 2 rows. And then just putting some of the seeds in the palm of my hand. I'm just going to sow very, very lightly. Just along this drill. And then the second one. And then again, making sure I don't forget what I'm sowing. Before I cover up, I'm just placing that label there, and then just pinch the soil, pat it down, and that's the carrot sown. And they should germinate around 10 to 20 days. And like I've already said, we should be harvesting these as baby carrots in about 8 to 10 weeks. The next vegetable to go in is a variety of cabbage, and this one is called Greyhound, and this is a upright kind of cabbage, so it's going to take up less space, and that's what we want in a small area. So this one is going to be perfect. It has these lovely pointed kind of leaves, and this one should be okay to harvest in about 10 weeks. So some nice ridges being made. Just trying to move any big lumps if you can. And as you can see, for a space this size, we're not going to be sowing tons and tons. I'm being very careful with the quantity that I'm sowing, just to make sure that when these do mature, they do have space to grow. And we can always thin them out if they look as if they're getting too cramped. And we'll pop the label in there and then just tap that soil back over the top. And that one's done. So the next one is a type of spring onion, and this one's called Furio. It's a lovely red skinned spring onion, and these ones will take about 8 weeks to mature, and then we can be harvesting them. And it's also good because it is bolt resistant, which is also really useful. And this is going to be sown, just like the other plants I've already sown, direct into this bed. So I'm making a ridge again, and I'm going to sow these a little bit thicker than what I've sown the other vegetables so far, because with spring onions you can group them together, you can plant them in bunches. It just means that they'll grow together, and as they grow they'll push each other aside and they can be harvested as a group. So that's my ridges. So I'm just going to put two rows like I've done with the other ones. And that's all you need. Get the label in and then cover up those seeds. So next up is a variety of chard that I've used before, I've had really good results with, and that is a variety called Bright Lights. It's very decorative, easy to grow, and I think it'll just be perfect in amongst these other vegetables in this raised bed. Chard's a fantastic vegetable because you can either have it as young leaves and used as a salad, or you can also have it as a vegetable you would steam like you would kale. So I'm going to sow this thinly, but not too thinly, because I'm going to use some of the chard in between for fresh leaves, and I'll leave the rest of it to grow and mature into bigger stems. And like I've said, I've had really good success with this in the past, this variety. So I'm very happy to be sowing it again. Just put the label in and then just close up those drills by pushing the soil back over the top. Just pressing that down. So the chard will germinate in about 7 to 10 days, and the harvest should be in around 8 or 9 weeks. So that's pretty good. The next one we're going to be doing is a type of radish, and these are the fastest vegetables you can grow. Very quick to mature, very quick to harvest, and you can be harvesting radishes in about 4 to 6 weeks after sowing, so that's brilliant. So any gaps you have in your vegetable plot throughout the season, you can be using radish to just fill those gaps to make sure that the ground is being utilised. So I'm just making a drill like I've done before. I'm doing 2 lines. These are nice big seeds. So we should see these germinating within 2 weeks, that's about 14 days. And they'll be the first out of this whole bed that we'll be able to harvest. So next, in the very end of the raised bed, we're going to be sowing some perpetual spinach. And this is a bit of a larger variety. It has a bit of a fleshier taste and consistency, and is really good when steamed with a variety of meals. So these are nice big seeds, so we can easily place them nice and evenly. And these should be ready for harvesting in about 10 weeks' time. And then close up those drills. So remember when I said we want to utilise the fence? So up the fence we're going to grow 2 types of vegetables, and that's going to be a garden pea and also a French bean. So the garden pea variety we're going to do is one called Kelvedon Wonder, tried and tested variety over many years. Very lovely, delicious peas, and we should be able to get an harvest in about 14 weeks after sowing. So I'm going to sow them now in the back of the bed. So with these, all I'm going to do is use my finger, make a hole and drop it down. And then just close those holes up, just using your hands. And we should be seeing germination within about 7 to 14 days on these. The variety of French bean we've chosen is one called Tendergreen, and it has a very beautiful flavour. Stringless pods and very nutritious. So the only problem with this is obviously the risk of frost. So we're going to sow it in these tallish containers and just keep these somewhere frost free until we can plant them outside into the raised bed. I'm just going to plant maybe 6 to each pot. I'm just making a hole and just dropping them down. And I can probably get 6 in a container like this. And just one down the middle. Then just put that compost back over the top and then just firm it down. I'll do the same for this one. We used to grow these a lot in Sheffield, but we've not grown them for many years. But at least it means we'll be able to stop relying, at least for a short time, on shop bought vegetables, because homegrown ones always taste so much better. And then just pop the label in. So these will go somewhere frost free until our risk of frost is over. With all those seeds sown, we really are excited to to see how it all progresses, and please stay tuned to the channel to see the progress of this raised bed and just how much food we can grow in this small space. What we will do is in a month's time or so, we'll sow some more vegetable seeds into containers, and then they can go out into the raised bed as and when space allows. And this just gives us succession of vegetables throughout the summer months and into the autumn. I hope you've enjoyed this video and found it useful, and also hopefully it's given you some inspiration to try something like this yourselves. So thank you very much for watching, and we will see you very soon on the next one. In the meantime, please take care.